Hello there, and welcome to Recon Paint Gaming. I'm Patrick. Today we're going to cover everything that was announced at Adepticon. If you're unaware of what that is Worlds, or the biggest tournament for X-Wing in regards to the top players all over the globe. So this year, AMG held it at Adepticon, where FFG in the past held it at their center back in their headquarters, but AMG doesn't have the space, so they kitted it out to Adepticon. I'm glad they were able to make a bigger venue. They were able to include a lot more players that weren't able to get Worlds tickets, and they actually upheld people who had Worlds tickets earlier. So we're going to cover everything they announced during Adepticon. It wasn't on their actual Twitch stream. It was on a different stream called Professional Casual Network. And there they announced everything that they're going to have planned for 2023 and also going to 2024 as well. And we're going to cover that for you. Real quick, we're going to go over this right here. They did leak more of the squadron packs that came out. So they definitely verified you're going to get everything as a new player in order to start playing the game. That includes damage decks, range rulers, dials, templates, tokens, objective tokens, dice, loadout cards, everything that you're going to need, even asteroids and so on and so forth. So that's awesome. Those are going to be, I believe, out in May, if the website is accurate. So those are going to drop soon enough. Next, this is huge. AMG said that they were going to be releasing or re-releasing ships from first edition into second edition, or they're going to actually have 2.0 packaging for ships that haven't gotten one yet or are still in first edition packaging. This is great because that means those ships are now going to be allowed in standard play, not just extended, and they're starting with what they promised. So here's the YT-2400 Dash Rendar Lebo with some quick build cards. You'll notice Dash has a Scum icon next to him, and Lebo has a Rebel. They do say that Dash still has a Rebel side, and Lebo has a Scum side as well. You're also going to get a standard card, or you can use the previous card that you had. It's just the stats are going to be changed to make it a little bit more balanced, and I already love this Scum card. I mean, it's got a new ability. The Outrider title is extended from before. It's going to allow you to modify your opponent's defense dice if you're obstructed or shooting through an obstruction, and then also if it's at range 3 you get to roll an additional die. So technically he can still be the 4 attack die monster that he once was, and it's going to have differences once you're range 1 of him. It's now going to reduce his attack die as it did before, but also it's going to reduce the defense die while defending. And you're also going to notice that it has a new missile on it, a seeker missile, which is attack and spend, or has to have a lock, spend 1 charge. During the modify attack step, you may spend up to 2 additional charges to change one of your focus results to a hit result for each charge spent in that way. It's 3 attack, range 2 to 3. So those are going to be very interesting, especially since there are going to be maybe munitions down the line. This is strictly for the actual quick build card. So I hope these don't come out, because these would be really powerful in some hands of, bombers and stuff like that, because yes, those are going to be coming out as well. We've got the Lebo crew. After you repair a damage card, you may perform an action on your action bar. And Mercenary. After another friendly ship at range 0 to 2 is destroyed, before it is removed from the play area, transfer 1 of its green tokens to yourself. And then also, they did change Dash's ability for the Scum, which is after you gain a red token, you or are moving through an obstacle or overlapping obstacle, you may transfer that red token to a ship at range 0 to 1. So not as great as his old ability, but still pretty good. And then Dash on his other card is during the engagement phase, you ignore the effects of obstacles that you are overlapping. So you can still use his old ability. It's just that it's not going to have the Outrider title as it does on this Scum Dash, but they might release new cards with it, new abilities, new upgrades, and so on and so forth. So don't just assume the worst, or don't invest in this. This is probably going to be a great card. And then also, because they've reduced its stat lines, it's not going to be as expensive as it once was, because I believe currently he's 10 points, so he might even be worth 8 now, because it doesn't have that 4 attack die all the time. So that's something to totally look forward to. I can't wait. I've loved playing Dashback in the other editions, so I can't wait to play him in this new one as well. All right, next up, we've got some bomber reveals with some quick build cards. We've got Tomex Bren with True Grit, one of my favorite movies. At the at the end of the activation phase, if you are not stressed, you may gain one strain token. If you're not strained, you may gain a strain token to remove one non-lock or red or orange token. That's pretty powerful, especially when you're about to start and you want to remove a lock from something, or if something else happens to where you get a token assigned to you and you just, nope, get it off of me. Comes with plasma torpedoes, ion bombs, and of course, the Nimble Bomber. I love that one. You get to drop bombs with a bank 1 or left. And ability is after you perform a barrel roll action, you may spend 2 charges. If you do, gain 1 focus token. So, you get to barrel roll, spend 2 charges, gain a focus, and then perform your red lock. That's amazing for an I-5. I think that's going to be really powerful. Let's hope he's priced appropriately, and by that I mean not too cheap, because that's going to be amazing. And then Captain Jonas is behind him. We can't really see anything except for the top cover. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 defends, if you have not dropped or launched a device that round, you may launch a device using the 3 bank, 3 straight template. Wow. That's absolutely incredible. You can launch a device out of your front. It's not going to go off until the next turn. But if there are some tricky shenanigans to where you shoot at him or his friend during like the activation phase, then yeah, that thing can be launched and all of a sudden it's then going off. So be careful with that. That's going to be pretty insane. All right. We talked about it. We're going to talk about it further because they gave us more information. Basically, May the 4th, and that's not going to be hard to forget because it's May the 4th be with you. They're going to be announcing their start of the season and run for Worlds in 2024. They're going to be releasing these this year because, as you can see, it says 2023 store tournament kit. They're going to be releasing to certain stores that have the capacity to hold tournaments. There's going to be crazy amounts of prizes, and you'll notice that one card in the middle. It says, "So do you have what it takes to be an ace?" That would be your ticket to Worlds. It gives you a basic ticket. You don't have to do the qualifiers that allow you to play basically like 6 rounds and then play in Worlds if you qualify, or the last chance qualifier. So these, and I'm just going to give a quick history. These used to be everywhere. We used to have store tournaments at local stores that got you a ticket to Worlds. It depends on what your store is, because your store could, hold a tournament, could have 80 people. It could have 3. It really, it depends on what your local group is doing and how much you guys play. But this is how to have a nice store tournament. Your store purchases the kit. They unbox it for you. They hand out prizes. You might have to help organize with them because they don't know exactly what to give out. Plus, I'm sure there's going to be instructions on what to give out as prizes for certain tiers. Most stores will do that, or most kits will do that for you. And also, you'll notice it comes with some new objectives right there. They have little shuttles on them. So I'm wondering if those are just specialties, or are they cargo for the cargo, scenarios. I know they're going to be some sort of prize, but I mean, there's even, people hinting that maybe this is a new scenario that they might put in this pack. That would be absolutely crazy if they did, or a side event or something of that nature. Or they're just regular objective tokens that, they look different, and it's a way for someone to get some that doesn't already have some. So this is going to be crazy. The other thing is they did mention regionals. Now, we don't know what regionals technically are. Regionals back in, first and second edition they would pick out a region of space, so not just a store and a store champ. It would be a region of the map. It would, cover a certain section, and that would be a regionals to bring in more players from around the area rather than just to your local store. So those usually tended to be bigger. And when you won a ticket there, you'd get something similar to whereas do you have what it takes to be an ace, except it would let you get into Worlds and give you a bye as well on the first round, which was huge because if you automatically won the first round, that's already a 1-up on the rest of the opponents, but it proved that you were a good enough pilot or player to, not need to play the first round. You were already ahead of the game as a skilled player because regionals, again, could be 80, 100, or 150 players depending on your area, and you had to beat out all those people to get that one ticket. And they even may have mentioned that, it won't be just the top person. It might be the top 3 that get a ticket, but only the top player or the first player will get a bye in the Worlds in the first round. So there's going to be more prizes, more kits. We aren't really certain on what it's going to bring in the long run. We don't know which stores, how many, and when they're going to space them out, because back in the day it used to be to where they were pretty distant apart. They were pretty spaced out, and stores would communicate with each other on when the events were so that they didn't overlap each other. The other thing that happened is they got way oversaturated, and you had like people all over the place, like 3 people at one tournament, 6 at another, and then 5 up north at another one. And then no one else showed up because they already won their tickets to Worlds playing other store champs events. So I hope they don't oversaturate. I hope they don't just go crazy with it, but I also hope they have one in your area, or at least one in your area, as far as regionals. And then for store champs, that can be, a mixed bag. Hopefully they give them out to enough stores to where it's not just another regionals, but you don't get the bye when you win it. So this is still amazing. I want everyone to stay with a positive attitude on this, because this is exactly what we wanted and we predicted for 2023 for AMG to make their move with X-Wing. You got to start these store kits. You got to start regionals. And not to mention, you're going to have conventions to where you got Gen Con, you've got, PAX, you've got Las Vegas, Nevada Open. So you have all these things that are now coming to fruition, and I could not be more happy or excited, because what's better than playing in your leagues, which we're doing right now at the Battle Standard over in Connecticut, playing some games, doing a standard league, and then, okay, now we have something to strive for. Now we got to start practicing and getting out all of our, bad habits and fine-tuning our lists, because Store Championships is coming up. All right. Enough of the competitive play, because I know people are like, they're putting everything in competitive play. That is so far from the truth. They are so going into the casual gamer. So this is another kit that they're going to be releasing for organized play. This is Children of Mandalore. They already said there's multiple ways to play it. There's going to be different scenarios or different objectives, and there's going to be new cards with it, new abilities, and so on and so forth. So I'm excited to play this, because I'm hoping they took a note from, one of our videos, because we did do a video to where we went through the original missions from first edition, and it's escorting a shuttle. So you can see it right there. There's a shuttle. I mean, maybe this might even be a way for the shuttle to come back into the game like it did from the VCX, because there's 2 different shuttles. I hope they bring back the attack shuttle. So one of the scenarios is going to be to where you're escorting the shuttle. One's attacking, one's defending. There's also going to be some Beskar that you have to collect. You can see the Beskar tokens right there. It looks like there's some sort of hub or even a space station little token there. So probably things are going to be either flying out of there or appearing there, and so on and so forth. And then there's even tokens behind that one, which is great, because when you go and get these packs, you bring them home, you can then save them, and then when you want to play them on your own private time, or even when you want to take a break from the competitive play, you can say, hey guys, we just finished League, let's do some fun events for the next couple of weeks and relax off of, everyone jumping after the 20-point game. And usually it works out. Sometimes not everybody wants to do it, so you just got to make sure that people who want to play 20-point games, they have someone to play with. And then also when you want to relax and play a store kit, you have that for the other people as well. Because again, we took a break from X-Wing and played a couple rounds of HOTAC. We didn't go through an entire campaign, but we played enough to where everyone was able to relax, have some fun, really, entrench themselves in the game and in the lore and all that and their character. And they're like, okay, let's go back to 20-point gaming. So this is going to be fun. I can't wait to see what is in this bag of goodies. Of course, we're going to do an unboxing of this once we get it. And next up, so we were wondering what they were going to do. We wanted them to do something other than Rebel and Imperial. We were hoping for First Order and then the Resistance or Scum. But this is the next best thing, because they even announced it. And I'm gonna save their little announcement towards the end. But this is Battle of Endor. You're going to be taking on just the deck of a superstar destroyer. So I'm I can't wait to play this. You're going to be trying to rip down the shields, destroy the bridge, so the Superstar Destroyer goes screaming into, the Death Star surface and crashing through it. And you're going to be, screaming movie quotes, too late, and it blows up the bridge. It's going to be awesome. And of course, it's going to come with new pilots, new quick builds. So this is Wedge. Wedge is pretty interesting for an i6 because everyone thinks, oh, this is the ability that I need. Like, this is it. But no. So Wedge has some crazy abilities. It's a trap while defending. If there are more other friendly ships than enemy ships at range 0 to 1, you may re-roll one of your blank results. So already that's basically elusive, but not. You don't have to spend the charge. It's got Predator, Advanced Proton Torpedoes, R2A3. Now, again, this is just a droid that gets stuck to his card. It doesn't really exist except for him. After you perform an action, you may spend a charge to acquire a lock. I think it is on another quick build card, but it's not. It's a standalone card. And his ability, after you perform an attack that hits, you gain a focus. So spend away, and if it hits, you get it back anyways. And then locked S foils, you can't close them, but after you perform a boost action, you gain a deplete token. So you can perform a boost action anyways, but this is weird. So it's after you perform a boost action, gain a deplete. So no matter how you do it, you're gaining a deplete, even if you focus in red boost or just standard boost. But he does have focus to red boost and barrel roll to red boost. So that's nothing that the T65 has ever had. And he gets an extra shield. So this thing is going to be a monster on the table. i6. It's going to be modifying itself away. And then, of course, as they've said, it might not be in the movies, but it's in the lore. Defenders were at the Battle of Yavin. We've got Captain Yor. This thing is a different kind of monster because normally, like when you do the full throttle, you get, the focus evade, but this thing is an offensive beast. So you've got no escape while you perform primary attack. If there are more friendly ships than enemy ships, at range 0 to 1 of the defender, you may re-roll one of your blank dice. Then there's Predator. You've got Ion Cannon and Computer-Assisted Handling for 1 charge. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may spend a charge to perform a booster barrel roll. It doesn't reoccur, so it's kind of like Afterburners, but it's for any maneuver, and that goes for your K turns. And ability. After you perform a primary attack that hits, you may spend a charge to perform a bonus cannon attack. And then this is engineering. After you fully execute a 3 to 5 speed maneuver, you may perform a lock action. While attacking, if you are not stressed, you may spend one of your shields to apply a range 1 bonus. So this thing is going to be hitting like hard. And then if it didn't hit, it's going to do it again because it's basically going to have your focus target lock every turn. It doesn't have the same I think it does have the same ability as the other TIE Defender title to where I thought you had to spend a lock in order to shoot twice. I believe that's it. This is just after you perform a primary attack, you can spend a charge, which it has to perform a bonus cannon attack. So if you dodge it, great. Well, now I'm going to ionize you, and it's going to be pretty off the charts. Last thing I'm going to mention about the Battle of Endor pack, and they said this on stream, and I 100% agree with AMG. You don't have to play with the Imperials and the Rebels. You can play any faction you want against another faction. It'll work out the same way. So I'm very excited that they said that because I know a lot of people were very upset about it when they were like, well, I don't care about this, part of the movie. I want to play my faction, what I own. It's like, you can. There is nothing saying that you can't. Please play whatever you want. All right. Lastly, gunboats. This is their hint that this is coming out, and I know what everyone's probably thinking because I did see some comments online. It's like, why is Imperial getting all this stuff? Why isn't anybody else? Let me tell you, it is very risky for AMG to start re-releasing ships into second edition. Chances are it wasn't making FFG too much money because as a player that has been playing for years, I own everything. I don't need to buy the packs with the new or with the old ships in the new packaging because I already had that when I bought conversion kits. So this is going to be a slow burn. They're going to release ships slowly. And, Scum still has a lot that needs to be re-released. They're hurting for ships. Imperials, they did well in Worlds, so you might say that, they don't need any more ships, but you need the Lambda, which is coming, the gunboat, you've got the bomber now. These are just iconic ships that, well, except for the gunboat, but the Lambda and the bomber are iconic ships. They need to be out into the game and re-released. But yeah, I could go over all the things like the Resistance bomber that needs to be re-released. I love that ship. It's it's from one of the movies and it's a main part of one of the movies, so you should have that ship in standard, as well as the attack shuttle and all the other ships that are just sitting by the wayside. And I want to say I heard them mention an E-Wing during one of their streams once, but they might have just mentioned Corrin, who was in an E-Wing, and I know Corrin is now in an X-Wing, but they may release the E-Wing down the line, and I hope they do, because it's a really great ship for the Rebels. So, I mean, that's going to do it for all of their stuff that they said during their little video there. They did go over Legion and also Marvel Crisis Protocol and Armada, so I recommend go checking out their stream and seeing what else that I might have missed. But this is everything that's going to be coming for 2023 and a little bit of 2024. I'm excited for Store Champs. I am excited that they mentioned regionals, and we've got other events that are coming up soon. You've got Gen Con that's coming during the summer, and so on and so forth. And I see all the time, like even in Atlantic City, there's going to be another X-Wing tournament coming up at one of the big major events. So go check that out as well. Yeah, I'm going to end it there because that is a lot of information to cover. We tried to get as much details as possible and searching around because I'm more interested in what regionals are going to be. If regionals is going to just be like major events, or is regionals actually going to be like sections of maps, and are they going to space those out evenly? So like our northern brethren, Canada, I hope you get more than one this year. And then also over in, UK or, England, I hope they get a good amount of regionals, and I really hope they get a lot of Store Champs because there is a good, wholesome, and solid game base over there for X-Wing. So same thing with New England. We had a lot of them scattered throughout our area. Meanwhile, people out in like Texas had one. So you can see my concern, but this is all great news. So I want everyone to be positive with this. If your ship that you really want, like a K-Wing, didn't come out, it's okay. Yeah, in the future, hopefully they're going to be also releasing new ships this year, because I know people were concerned about that, of like why they keep releasing old ships and I don't want new pilot cards. Like, I want new pilot cards. I want to be able to play the ships that I have and play them in multiple different ways. And then down the line, if they start releasing newer ships, I'm all for that as well. I might not even purchase them because I already have what I have with Rebels, Imperials, First Order, and all that stuff as well. So that's going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and check out our other video to where we talk more about the squadron packs for Rebels and Imperials, because they do have those. They will talk about more down the line, or different factions. And then, yeah, we're just going to keep bringing you news. We're going to keep doing more videos on the rules. Someone already requested rules for all of the obstacles and the different ways those interact with our ships. And then someone else requested a video for, I forget which rule it was, but we'll cover those as well, and we'll do timings and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much. Go ahead and click like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you're most excited for, or, what you hope that they come out with soon enough for your ships, and so on and so forth. So I'm Patrick, reminding you to fly casual or play casual, and go check out reconpaintgaming.com for all of our social media and also all of our merchandise, and go check out recontokens.com for all of your token needs. So that's going to do it. Have a good one.